There we go.
And just like that, everybody.
Just like that, we're back at it again.
Shout out to Jacob. Shout out. Yeah, behind the curtains on a major studio right now.
Yes, sir. Yes, indeed.
Yo, for everybody tuning in on Spotify or Apple or YouTube, we're back with the best podcast on Long Island.
The best podcast on Long Island. The Wasted Podcast.
Yeah. Shoot, is that a dig at my podcast then?
No.
That's the thing. We're not used to having fellow Long Islanders on here.
Yes.
So you know what I'm saying.
We'll tweak it a little bit.
The best in Nassau County. That's what it is.
Yeah, there you go.
The best in Nassau County.
When the best podcasters are in the room. How about that?
Hey, there we go. That's a nice save. That's a nice save. So we have a tradition here. We say that goats introduce themselves. So we'll allow the goat to introduce himself.
I assume. Okay, well, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. My name is Jacob Restituto. I am a musician from Northport, New York, and it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, man, for sure. Appreciate you coming out, So you said you're a musician. How long have you been?
I've been playing music for a while. I grew up not liking music. I was like kid, I was like, oh, mom, dad, please, can you turn off the radio? I just didn't like it,
You didn't like music?
No,
I find that so hard to
I kind of liked it, but I guess I like the peace and quiet of the car, whatever the case. And I also just hated the way school structured music. I don't know if you guys had to play an instrument and stuff. And
briefly
I had to
play
play
the saxophone.
Me too.
I had to play the trombone for 4 years, bro. I didn't even want that shit, bro. I wanted to play the drums. They was like, oh, no, we putting you on brass. I said, why?
What, they made you play something?
Yeah, I played the trumpet, and the way that they
trumpet
made you, that you had to sign up. You did this sign up sheet where you had to practice 30 minutes a day, and that structure.
Yeah.
So it just gave me a bad taste for music and stuff.
I mean, I can understand that.
So I started then I stopped with all music stuff. I started playing sports. I really got into sports. And then when I was a freshman in high school, I started really getting involved in music, and started, it started with my church. I was doing the youth group music stuff, and then I started writing my own music. And then I went to school for music for a year, and then dropped out, and then I decided to do music full time.
Yeah, there we go. College dropouts.
Yeah.
Hey,
look. Shoot, there you go.
There we go.
College dropouts.
I think Ant is the only one here who has a paper, right?
There you go.
Shout out to Anthony.
Hey.
I mean, not that we're condoning people to not get their education,
Hey man,
whatever. Decide what's right for you.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
You can get educated anywhere, though.
Yeah,
not anywhere, but there's a bunch of sources.
As long as you have a plan.
Right.
Exactly.
You
need a plan. That's a fact. Y'all remember the recorders though?
Yeah, the little recorder. Yo,
I actually liked the recorder a lot. I felt like it had a very kind of graceful sound. You know what I mean? When he starts laughing,
it's a copycat flute, man.
Nah, mine was just like, whee! It was just big like a real
because you didn't know how to play it.
I didn't know how to play it. I didn't.
Oh, yeah,
it's like.
You think you could still play the recorder?
I mean, if you showed me the notes again, possibly. But I don't remember. You know what? My wife. I think it's my wife. So I was with somebody recently, and I think it was my wife. She knew the things. And I was like, how in the world do you still remember this?
She just has one in the closet sometimes.
It was just muscle memory.
She hadn't picked it up
since she was in 4th grade.
Are you serious?
Wow.
And she just remembered it, and I was like, oh no, I'm sorry. It was my father-in-law. He and another person who was the trumpet. They didn't have a trumpet with them, but they knew the chord, the notes to play the scales. And I was like, how in the world, after 40 years of you being out of school, do you still remember how to play that
specific
I'm
thing?
like,
Right?
That's impressive.
It blew
but
my mind.
that's dedication.
Yeah, I guess so. He must have loved it.
It's just like seared in his memory.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So I see you play guitar.
Mm-hmm.
How long have you been playing guitar? Since high school as well, or did you?
Yeah, since 2009. 2009. I started playing the guitar. Nice.
I noticed that when you were doing the reaction video, I forgot what it was. I think I was watching the one that you did where you reacted to Shawn Mendes doing the cover of Fake Love.
Oh yeah, the Drake song. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that BBC series where they have people come in and do they covers of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And
oh yeah. What's that series called?
I don't know.
The BBC Radio one.
BBC Radio.
Live Lounge.
Yeah. There's another one in Australia called Like a Version.
That's the one I was thinking
I figured that was the one you was thinking about too.
I haven't heard of that. Like a Version.
Yeah. They have a lot of cool. They had Childish Gambino on there, right? They had ASAP.
I think that was a BBC one. Not
Childish.
Childish, but I think
because he was in the booth.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, that makes sense because the ASAP one, most of the like a verse are in like they're in a like stage thing type.
Right. Yeah. Like you just pulled out the guitar and you kind of just played the progressions that he was playing. I'm like, yo, that shit is so ill to me personally. Like, I like being able, like, people like who can just hear something by ear and then just.
Yeah.
Well, it's been totally learned. It was like I don't have perfect pitch in any way, shape, or form.
Okay.
For perfect pitch is when you can hear a note and be like, oh, that's a C sharp. They just know.
That's
a
so
thing.
crazy.
Ridiculous.
I definitely don't have that. It's just a learned, like, you kind of get a feel for what chords people are using just by you played them so many times. You're like, oh, I know that sound kind of thing.
Nice.
So you have like a basic knowledge on music theory, obviously.
Yeah, pretty deep knowledge. I mean, I spent a lot of time in classes for music theory.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I definitely like that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I heard a lot of musicians like they really hate that class. Like, I mean, it's like a fundamental like foundation for like building just a song in general, music. But
more or less,
I feel like a lot of musicians who are in school, like they really just don't enjoy like the way that's administered.
I would agree with that. I think that it depends. You have to have a good teacher. I think. I think another aspect of it depends on where I think you land on the creative scale. Where if you're super creative, like that kind of structure is not going to work for you. But if you have like I'm like I feel like I'm like the non-creative. I'm the creative non-creative in the sense of like I feel like I'm an anomaly in the music world where in the sense of I go to bed really early, I wake up really early. I'm like last night I was in bed by 9:30, but like my alarm went off at like 5:30 this morning. You know,
I wish
I
could do that. Yeah,
you know,
that's discipline.
When
That's
my
discipline.
wife works, like I go to bed. We go to bed at like 9:30, 10:30, somewhere in that 10:30 range. And like we'll go to the gym, the alarm will go off at 4:30 in the morning. You know, so
but that sounds like a good like structure though. For the day you maximize your day.
No, that's exactly true.
But it's no different than somebody that's going to bed at 2:00 in the morning and getting up at 9. It's the same sleep structure. But that being said, like I love business stuff. I love the business side of music, and some musicians just they don't like that. They don't like that, you know. And there's some people that are super business savvy but not creative, and you know, so it's like I kind of feel like I lie in the middle. So that's why I feel like I like the structure of music theory, and I like to know why things are done. So you get a lot of why in the music theory.
Oh, interesting.
I like music theory from like a passive standpoint because I'm not a musician to like actually understand it, but like I like hearing certain things, and specifically like arrangement. I like arrangement in music. Like I just like hearing that little ding that nobody else pays attention to in the song. Like this is hear it, there it goes. You know what I'm saying?
It's very complex to be able to achieve that kind of full body sound and just making it sound so flush. You know?
Yeah. Well, before I just want to backtrack a little bit because. Me and you, obviously, me and Dre just met you. Everyone just met you, but how we got connected was through Fred, and you found Jacob, right?
Yeah. So, like, pretty much so, like, to talk about that reaction video, we have done reactions because that's just like the YouTube meta. You love reactions, you know. And, you know, we occasionally get hit with, like, copyright issues. Specifically, like, I think it's been with other things, but, like, specifically with music, we saw, like, the most, like, blowback. And we were just, like, struggling. And then I just looked up a video about how we can kind of try to not have it happen as often. And then one of your videos came up, and you talked about, I guess, one, making sure that you put the fair use kind of, like, spiel or whatever in the description. And then I'm just like the type of dude, I'm like a real YouTube head, so like the first thing I do if I watch a video, scroll down to the comments. You know what I mean? And when I scroll to, like, I was scrolling down, I seen that he has like a text thing in his description. I'm like, oh yeah, I've seen people do that, that's interesting. And then I actually paid attention to the number for whatever reason, and the number said 631. I'm like, I know 631. That's like Suffolk area, you know.
Yeah.
So I looked you up on Instagram, and I'm like, you know what? I was feeling like Steph Curry shot him a shot. Yeah. And I'm like, yo, man, you're pretty close. You know what I mean? So it'd be dope if we could sit down and have a conversation.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
That is so like, what are the odds though? The video that you saw about a reason that we were having trouble with ends up being someone on Long Island that was talking about it.
You never know what you're gonna find.
No.
Ever,
really.
literally.
You want to hear a funny story about that video though? So that video was so off the cuff. Like I went back and rewatched it. I do a lot of live streaming on my YouTube channel, and I think I was on a live stream and somebody asked a question. I was like, you know what? Hit record. Let's just start. And I recently rewatched it because I wanted. It's so unprofessional, which is so funny. I'm like, it's just so not well done. I'm like talking. My dog starts barking. And I'm like, oh, that's my dog. And I start talking about what kind of dog I have. Like it was just so off the cuff. It was so unintentional. And then the reason I rewatched it is because I wanted to film it. So let me backtrack. Actually, it didn't do anything on my channel for a long time. It was off the cuff. I figured, you know what? So many people are asking me this question. Let me just post this, and this way I could just copy the video link and just send them that link instead of trying to explain it.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's actually why I did it. I believe, if I remember correctly, it didn't do anything on the channel, and then randomly, like a year and a half later, it started popping off. Like, you know, so I had, 2,000 views on it or something. You know, now it's in like the 30, 40, 50,000 view range. But like, if you look at the algorithm, it was like nothing, and then it just shot up.
A super spike.
That's crazy.
It was weird.
Shifts in the algorithm.
Did you change any
nothing.
tag?
Nothing. I mean, it was just one of those random videos. And
have you ever seen that happen on another video?
Oh yeah, I've seen it happen a handful of times. So I have I do YouTube a little different. I post a lot.
I noticed.
A lot.
Yeah.
So what is a lot though?
Yeah.
It depends on the month. I mean, there was a month I feel like it was last January, so about a year ago. I've slowed down a little bit because just life has changed, I guess.
Right.
I've posted over 300. I think it was 340 videos in a month.
Wait, what?
It's different.
I post a lot, but let me explain. So I post a lot. I also probably now I'm at like 5 videos a day at this point.
Oh my god.
Every day, 7 days a week.
Wow.
But I've gotten it to a point where it's so easy for me to film. Like the reaction videos, I hit record, I hit stop record, and then I upload. Like I don't. I record through Streamlabs, so I have my LUT set up. I have the texting number set up. I go into my studio. Everything's so streamlined at this point.
Yeah, it makes it easy for you to do so.
Yeah, I posted I think like almost 5,000 videos on my YouTube channel. So like it's just so streamlined at this point. But the reason I do it actually is because I've noticed. I don't think YouTube really cares about. They just want people to watch their videos, right? Or YouTube. Yeah. So if as long as you have a good video, you could post I think 10 times a day, and if they're all good videos, they're gonna be watched. I've also noticed that if I post once a day, so you like your stuff, you like your stuff, and you like your stuff. If I post one video, there's a good chance that both of you might not like it, but he might like it. But if I post 3 videos, well, then I have that many more chances of each of you liking one of those videos. So if I posted that one video, only he would maybe watch that day, and you guys wouldn't have watched. But now if I post 3 videos, now there's a better chance of you watching 2 videos maybe, and you watching a video, and you watch. My view count and the income that I make is so much higher than all of my co-creators and even creators that have more subscribers than me. And that's not like a flex, like I'm better. I genuinely believe that because I'm posting more, it's actually working.
Wow.
I mean, it makes sense.
Some people are like, oh, you're going to mess up the algorithm. And like, you know, I'm like.
What does that even mean?
How are you going to single-handedly mess up?
No, not their algorithm. I'll mess up my algorithm.
Yeah, but it's so, it's so ever-changing. And I'm like, if you find something that works,
exactly.
You know, everybody's, journey, because you have the people who will really post like once a week and they'll get a shit ton of views because that's just, I guess the type of work that they produce, or maybe the community that they've cultivated, that's good for them. But then you have the people who will post like a few times a week, or like you said, a few times a day.
And you have a better chance if you say you have 40 minutes you want to watch YouTube. If you post an 8-minute video, well, that's all they're really gonna watch from you probably. Unless you have a couple of. I mean, maybe they'll go back and watch a couple of older videos. But if they're scrolling through their whatever feed, and they see, oh, Jacob watched. They'll just go to the next video, and the next video. Now they spent their 40 minutes on me instead of watching me and 3 other creators.
That's an interesting way of looking at it.
Right? If there's a couple videos that they're interested in, right? Say I post 5 videos, and there's 3 that they're interested in, they'll probably watch those 3 videos and be like, okay, now it's time to go to bed, as opposed to me and then, another creator. Yeah. Which, hey, it's capitalism, so I'm trying to get as I can to watch my videos, right?
Yeah, you should. Well, when did you start uploading on like that frequently?
So I started YouTube back in 2012 when I started making music. I started posting, but I would be posting once a month, once every 6 months, like just whenever I had something to post.
Right.
Okay.
2019, I went hard. Like I was like on all social media. I was posting like crazy on Instagram, Twitter, everything, daily on YouTube. I think I started once a day on there.
Wow.
And then I want to say, I feel like it was 2020 when, the world shut down. I think I started posting multiple times a day. Or maybe a little before that. Maybe like I really, the growth really happened for me in 2020. I think I went from 2,000 subscribers on YouTube to I hit 20,000. So in 2020, so here, let me backtrack. In 2020, I went from 2,000 to 20,000.
How long did that take? The whole year?
Yeah, the whole year.
Okay.
So January 1st to December 31st was about it was actually 1,995 to about, I was like almost at 20,000.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
But then 2021, we went from 20,000 to like 105,000.
Yeah, crazy.
But that was 2 years. So like technically like 2,000 to 105,000. But, it took like 3 years or like a long time to build that first 1,000.
Oh my God! You just said the magic word.
Yeah. That was like that growth was huge. It was like it's the what's it called? That kind of exponential graph.
Yeah.
It took forever. It took like a year or two to get 1,000 subscribers.
Yep.
It took forever, and then once it's a snowball effect.
Yeah.
Then
Absolutely.
There was days, I think I just recently looked this back. It's crazy. I've had days, and I all the stuff that I say, it's never a flex. It's just actually I want to inspire other creators.
Yeah.
I want to show what's possible, and like I'm just getting started, but I don't want to. But it's not like, oh, look at me, look how cool. I want to show I document everything. The vlog, I have a vlog, I have a journal. Like I want to document everything because I want people to go back and like look at what I did, because there was no roadmap for me.
Right.
So like I want to try and create roadmaps for other people. So I was recently looking back, like I've had days where I grew by like 1,800 subscribers and stuff, like 1,800 in a day.
Yeah.
And then I look back in like 16, 17, 18, even in 2019, there was like, oh, I grew by like 13 subscribers for the month.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's this huge snowball.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
No, that's amazing though. That's
It's inspiring for sure. Because you just cracked that 1,000.
Hey, congrats, man.
Thanks,
That's
huge.
Thanks.
Yeah. It was a process, and like I remember, like we started posting like very like different content, and it eventually grew and it changed. But like we kind of just took a little break during like the holiday season, and we got to 1,000 maybe like right before Christmas or around Christmas, and we haven't really posted much since. And like just even within that time, we've gotten like 80 subscribers just doing nothing. I remember when we would struggle to get, like you said, like 13 or something, you know what I mean? So like I guess once you break that threshold, you know what I mean, it starts to become a little bit easier. But one thing that I did notice on your page is that you frequently shout out to your Patreon. What was the process of that like?
So you guys get me at a really interesting time because feel like I'm slowly moving away from Patreon.
Really?
Shout out to download the Jacob Restituto app.
Oh,
hey, let's go.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, so I announced that last Friday.
Wow.
It's been in the works for a bit, but yes, go to your whatever international, any carrot phone you have, Android, iPhone. Download the Jacob Restituto app.
Wow.
Just type, if you type in if it doesn't come up for whatever reason, sometimes in some countries it doesn't come up, just Google it, just Jacob Restituto app, it'll come up. Wow. So that being said, I'm very excited about that. I'm really excited. There's something now that I announced with that called Tudo Plus. So my name Jacob Restituto.
Right.
I do a lot of Team Tudo is what we call the subscribers and the supporters and stuff. So Tudo Plus is a platform. So this year I really want to go for pushing more of my music. I'm just really going hard on the music. I was really trying to grow a base around the music for the past couple of years and growing the community and stuff. And now it's growing. I've had things in place to grow that community. Like I kind of know what I'm doing to some degree. And I'm always trying to learn. But I have an idea of how it's working, right? So now I want to branch out and try to do some other things, like really pushing the music. And the Patreon was really geared towards like, you know, the reaction stuff that I was doing. And it's just so hard for me to like post extra content, like to think. I feel like because they're paying, I feel terrible if I don't do a good job with it.
Right.
So now that being said, I'm moving towards more of Tudo Plus, which is the same concept, only I'm doing it through, I believe right now through PayPal, and Patreon takes, I think, like 30%. I think PayPal only takes whatever 3% to process it or something like that.
Exactly.
If that, I don't even know. Sometimes if you send them to a friend, so I don't know how it was set up. If it was sent by their friend, it's free. I think. And that is going to be less about, you know, the reactions and stuff, and more about like you get behind the scene. You get to give me input on you get to hear a demo early of a song, and you get to give feedback, or you get exclusive merch opportunities, or discounts on merch, or signed lyrics books, or whatever the case is. So
that's cool.
No,
check out Tudo Plus for the people listening. But yeah, so Patreon though, it was cool because I would do extra content that either I didn't want to post onto YouTube because it would get blocked, or I do a lot of series where like I'll like listen to like a whole you know, series of songs, and whether it be an album, I'll post the whole album on the Patreon, the whole uncut, on no ads or anything like that.
Right.
Or I'll do like for example the musical Hamilton. People were super interested in those reactions, and I was like, they wanted me to watch the actual musical, so I was like, okay, there's no way I could post that on YouTube.
Yeah, no.
So I was like, I'll post it on Patreon, and that's kind of what I did with that. And it was great, man. Patreon was really good, but I didn't like to have to think of new things to post for them. And if I went without a month for posting, I'm like, shoot, these people just paid for literally. I mean, you got the backlog of stuff, but like
you want to keep putting stuff out.
Exactly. And it was just too much. It just stressed me out too much, and I really want to focus on the music stuff too, and stop paying the 30%.
Right, yeah, cut out
That's
the middleman.
crazy.
The middleman.
That's insane.
That high.
Yeah.
I think it is. I think there's different tiers of Patreon of what you can choose, but I think it's 30%.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
But the benefit though is they have this really easy structure. It's so easy to post on Patreon, and trying to build that for yourself is a lot harder because you have to figure out how you're gonna post things. Like where do you host all this stuff?
Right.
So they have you're paying really for the convenience.
Okay.
Okay.
So, would you say that you started the YouTube channel as a means to, I guess, get eyes on your music?
100%, and that's the goal for it always. Absolutely, absolutely, and even the reactions and stuff. Well, the reactions, they're all to promote the music. I start most of it. I'm learning to try to actually adjust keep retention rate. So I'm like, I had this whole intro that I do for all my videos and stuff, but it ended up being like a minute long, and I was like, screw that. Like, I just want people to watch the videos, and they'll come back, and then they'll just keep watching the videos, and then they'll be more interested in me rather than like trying to shove it right down their face in the beginning.
Right.
So, but like it'd be like, I'm a musician from Northport, New York. If you want to check out my music, it's the best way to support the channel. Like, yeah. But I've been realizing more and more that the more that I grow the channel, the more opportunities come my way, even for my music. Like because I've grown this subscriber base, I now have what would be called social clout, that I can go and reach out to somebody and be like, hey, I have 100,000 subscribers. Would you be interested in coming on my podcast? Yeah. That number holds a lot more weight when I was like, hey, I've 500 subscribers. Yeah. They're like, why would I want to come on your podcast?
Social proof.
Social proof. I forgot that word, and I was trying to. Yes, thank you. Yeah. That's exactly what it is. But now I'm meeting all these people that I had, that are in the industry and now know my name, and so it's really interesting. I'm just like, because I don't want to be people. It's like a knife in my side sometimes, where people are like, oh, your reaction channel. I'm like, no, I'm not just a reaction guy, and but I'm like, you know what? It's a means to an end, because I'm meeting all these people. I'm creating these opportunities. There are now like these super supporters that will send me gifts. They're super interested in the music, so it's all going in that direction. But yes, it's all been to promote the music.
Yeah. No, I definitely dug that.
Do you find it difficult to convert your audience from one platform to another?
Yes.
Yeah. So,
it's so hard.
How do you get around doing that? Because you're trying to take your YouTube subscriber audience and move it over to your music. Like, how and even to your Instagram. You want them to stay current and up to date with you. How do you do that?
That's a phenomenal question, because I don't know what triggered it today, but I was thinking about that. I'm like, people don't realize how hard it is to convert.
Yeah.
I think that even myself, I remember and I think you have to have this like optimism, like, oh, I just need 1,000 people to buy this. I need 1,000 people to buy $100 product, and I'm making $100,000 a year.
Yep.
Like, you need that optimism and to start, but people don't realize how hard it is to get that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So, I don't. To some degree, I don't know. You know, I don't know why the channel has 111,000 subscribers, but I have 2,000 followers on Instagram. Like, it doesn't. Like, this makes no sense, right?
Do you often talk about your Instagram?
Yeah, I was about to ask.
It's just the little banner thing comes up.
Yeah.
Maybe like a call to action of some sort.
Yeah, you need a call to action. I think that the biggest thing though is just building community, in the sense of like I still respond to every single comment. You know, and I kind of there was a point where it was too many, and then I was like I kind of lost it. But like I'm like, this is super important. So in the past 2 months I've responded to every single comment on the channel.
Wow.
I have a text, like I saw the texting app that like. I have a WhatsApp for people that are international, so like they can text all these numbers, and it's obviously not my real cell phone number, but it goes to a number an app where I can message them and responding to those, and I respond to every single DM that people get. You know, like that's how we met. You know, like so. I think that just the consistent posting, the consistent community, I think that the people that really care will be interested, and then you'll have at some point you'll have a viral video or viral song, and then those people will go, you know, and viral for you, you know, so like viral for you at 1,000 subscribers is, you know, 500 views or 1,000 views, 10,000 views. Viral, you know, for a channel with 50,000 subscribers is different than Mr. Beast viral, you know. So you have to be, you know, kind of conscious, like, because you'll never be happy if you're like, oh, this video didn't get 87 million views like Mr. Beast. But like if you're like, oh, this video got 8,700 views when I normally get 300 views, that's viral for you. You know? So like, but those are video exactly, you know? And that video will draw in other people.
Am I getting too techie, or you guys like?
Nah, no, it's good. I mean, it's authentic, it's honest, and you're obviously passionate about it. So
and I love this stuff, man.
We want to see that passion.
Sure.
So that's perfect.
I love this. I love talking about this stuff. It's my favorite. You know, I just love it.
Like we've been on YouTube for like roughly about like 5 years or so.
Okay.
And I was saying like we started uploading reactions, and I think like September, either like August or September. And just within that time period, I just learned way more about YouTube than I have within the prior like 5 years or 4 years that we were doing it for before. You know what I mean? Because you start paying attention to what works. It's like, okay, now we're using something that already exists. I thought that was the entire battle. Like, hey, this is a thing that exists. We hit the jackpot. And then you post your reaction video and actually nobody watches it. It's like, so okay, there is such thing as, you know, like I guess like TubeBuddy would like tell us, you know what I mean? Shout out to TubeBuddy. You know what I'm saying? Like TubeBuddy will let you know, all right, so this search term is high volume, but it wouldn't really work for your channel because of the amount of competition. Now they have things that don't have as much search value, but since there's not as much competition, it's like a better upload for you guys because, you know what I mean? It's just, it fits your, like the analytics of your channel. So it's like so much that goes into making this YouTube, you know, the whole thing work, you know? It's not just posting videos. There's videos that we probably posted that were very high quality, but I guess the work of SEO or maybe just, you know what I mean, the direction that we went as far as like the topic of the video may not really be something that's like hitting right now. Quality of it is good. We've had quality, like that's we've been told, yo, the quality is there. It's like, why doesn't YouTube see it? You know what I mean? It can be frustrating, you know. But it's definitely fun to hear somebody who's experienced, you know, where we've been at, and then
very similar.
But you know what I mean, I'm seeing the strides. Just hearing, I had no idea that you built up that type of following largely within a span of 2 years. It's crazy. You know what I mean? But I guess that's YouTube.
Well, one thing that I've really I love to study other people and watch. Like I love, you know, watching other creators, listening to their interviews and stuff. And it's really interesting to see how fast things change. It's I've really seen it actually with some certain creators, and I was like, wow, okay. So it's 7 years of work, or 5 years of work, or 10 years of work, and then that 11th year changes everything.
Yeah.
Like, for example, it's funny. I've talked about this a couple times on my channel. There was this creator that I randomly found on TikTok. He showed up in my For You page, and I just was hooked in by his video. And I think at the time he had 250,000 followers on TikTok, maybe if that many. And he had a viral video or two here or there, and this one went viral, and it was talking about his music and stuff. And he just popped off. And this I distinctly remember. I think it was July 30th, 2020. I found him. And just because I remember where I was going that day and stuff, right? So then, now here we are, a year and a half later. The guy has, since then, because of how well he's done on TikTok, has played the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, played Lollapalooza,
wow.
Been
That's
on
insane.
shows with Gary Vee, all this, he's done, his life has changed. He's going on tour with some other big creators, so... How many years did it take? I don't know, and how many songs? I don't know his backstory as well, but the fact that it can change, so you can go from having nothing on anything to touring and being on Lollapalooza, 10,000 people at Lollapalooza. He played Madison Square Garden with a jingle ball.
Wow.
Or even look at Olivia Rodrigo. Do you know who that
Yeah.
She was relatively famous for her High School Musical show, and then Driver's License came out, and then. I was just thinking about that because I did a reaction video to her stuff the day it came out, I think, and it was in January of 2021, so it was less than a year ago. And I was thinking, I was like, shoot, man, it's been less than a year since Driver's License came out, and look at all the things she's done. She's played the Grammys, Billboard Music Award. She's done so many massive things in a year. It's you put in all this work and then it happens fast.
They said that you work your whole night. You work your whole life to be an overnight success.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. It's such a true quote, and I've been really seeing it in other creators. So I'm like, if I just stay consistent, my time will come.
Yeah.
1000%. Well, speaking of TikTok, you put a lot of stuff on
I was about to go on there.
It's so hard for me. I don't know why. And I know I need to be on it, and I want to be on it. It's just that style of content is so hard for me.
It's different.
It is, and it's so hard.
Well, let me ask you this: what about YouTube Shorts? Do you post on?
No, it's that same structure of
So
videos.
the same thing with the Reels. You're not on Reels like that.
You know what? My brain doesn't function on I have to post today. My brain functions on let me film 12 videos and then I'll schedule them out. So because when I get in these rhythms of okay, I create these kind of videos. I'm not very good at creating videos. So these creators that will have these skits or whatever the case is, or I'm not good at that. So what I have done for TikTok and Reels and Shorts and stuff is I usually repurpose content. And I'll take clips from stuff. So I'll spend an hour or two chopping a video up or something like that. And then I will go and schedule. Are you good?
I don't think this shit was recording.
Really?
It looks. What do you mean?
Now it's recording.
No, it was recording that whole time.
I don't think so. Was it?
Yeah, it was red like that the whole time.
But it says 27. Didn't we stop at 27?
Yeah, we stopped at 27.
So I use a platform. I haven't been using it lately, but I've used a platform called later.com. Highly recommend it. Where you can schedule your posts and stuff.
We have a love-hate relationship with Later,
right?
We tried Later, right?
Yeah. So whatever platform works, but for me, my brain works where I'm let me spend 2 hours scheduling a month's worth of Instagram posts or TikToks and whatever, LinkedIn, and then I don't have to do anything, or I just have to press a button for it to go.
That's what I was gonna ask you, because Later you have to manually
with TikTok
do it, right?
No, with Instagram, with Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn,
it goes up.
It goes by itself.
Oh, word, that might be different than it used to be.
I think so.
Yeah, because with Instagram we had to
manually click.
With Reels or with posts.
This was before Reels even became a thing, so I don't. It might have changed.
I think it was a problem because we would tag people because we take pictures with a lot of people because the page isn't really about us. It's more about the content and who's in the content, the guests. So we would have to tag them, and it wouldn't allow us to put automatic posts when we would tag those.
I think a lot has changed. I think you could do that now.
Yeah, that became a big issue for us because there was someone different every single time in the picture. So that's why we had an issue with Later.
So the only issue, it's not even Later's fault. I think it's TikTok's fault.
Oh, okay.
You can't you can't automatically post a TikTok. It has to send you a notification, and then you have to.
Yeah, that's how it was for everything.
So yeah, it could be that. I don't know, but like I loved it for Instagram and stuff because I wouldn't have to think about it. You know, and that's what I do with YouTube. Like I have these videos and I'll just schedule them, and I don't have to, like, for example, I don't know what time it is right now, but at 8:00 a video is posting tonight. You know, like it's done. You know, so that's how I work. So the idea of me having to be like, what am I gonna film today for TikTok is so stressful. Like I'm just not good at it. Who knows? At some point I'll figure it out, but I recognize that it is incredibly important, and I recognize that I'm not doing a good job.
It's a if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
26.
Yeah, all right, so I'm 25. I feel like to a certain degree, I'm not gonna pin it all on that, but I feel like I didn't really come up with content that short, like, or at least it being like done in the way that it's done on TikTok, because like I guess the only reference we have is Vine.
Yeah.
But Vine is different. It's like it started out as one thing, but TikTok kind of just became something very different. And I feel like in order for you to streamline the type of content you make, theoretically, I feel like it should be simple, but I feel like if you're not used to thinking simple becomes difficult.
Sure. I think the biggest thing is consistency.
Yeah, for sure.
I was doing well on TikTok for a while. Like I had a video go like 850,000 views and stuff. Like,
nice.
It was, but then I just stopped. I don't know why. Like I just started focusing more on YouTube, I guess. And like, I think, but had I stayed consistent with that, I think it would have done really well. So everything happens for a reason. That just wasn't my time, I guess. But
you think so? Do you use TikTok like just for your own personal like leisure? Like, do you watch it?
Kind of.
I feel like that's a very big kind of part on what drives successful creators and what doesn't. Because if you don't use the app, then obviously you're not gonna know what works. You're not gonna be acclimated to the sort of content that you should be posting. Me myself, I don't really like TikTok. Like I like to be invested and watch something that I'm gonna watch for a while. I'm not really used to. I don't really like watching 10-second clips. I don't. I want something that captivates me, and that's just not the platform for me. I don't want to speak about what you guys feel, but
it's ironic because I'll watch like 30-second clips on YouTube. I watch a lot of them because they be kind of just the humor is different too. Sure. It's a different
culture.
Platform. Yeah, exactly. That's what it is.
Absolutely.
But like, I understand what you're saying though, because I prefer to watch something a little bit like longer.
Longer, right?
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, let's get down to it too. I mean, when you start talking seconds, 15 seconds, it's a big difference at that point. Something that's 10 seconds, something that's 30, 35 seconds, that's a big difference. Because that's pretty much double the video, double the length. Yeah. So that is a big difference at that point.
Yeah.
I very much agree. I'm the kind of guy that wouldn't be on Instagram if I wasn't a musician. And
wow, okay.
I just don't. I don't care. I really don't care what people are posting. I don't really care what's going on in their life. Like, I love my friends. I love my family. But I'm like, it's just not. It's not my personality. Not like I'm all wrapped up in my stuff. I'm like, I'd rather see you in person. I'm not
understandable.
Like, who knows? I don't know. It's not. I don't find it super interesting. But I'm on it. I kind of have to put my feelings about it away
and just use it as a tool.
Exactly. It's like if I want to be as big as I want to be, like the market doesn't care that I don't like TikTok.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like I just need to get over myself and figure it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now that's the same thing. Like when did TikTok come out? Like
17. It was like Musically before.
Yeah, I mean, I was on it.
When did it transfer to TikTok?
I think like 2018.
Yeah, I would probably say that because I think I started like looking at it in like 2019. So
so probably like
2018,
2019. Remember, because we did a TikTok.
Yeah, but wasn't that?
That was 2019.
That was 29. That was like the tail. That had to have been like December of 2019.
It was still early though.
It was still early. That was the first video we posted. We got like 30,000 views and never did anything with it.
See, like that's my regret.
It was so stupid, but it was literally like 5 seconds of nonsense, and we got so much. And then when we tried, it's like when we try, nobody cares.
When you early to the party though, that's
exactly. Like I was so early to the party, and I just didn't use my bad. Didn't utilize it. Okay. Like, and so were you guys. Like, had we stuck with it, but it wasn't meant to be. You know,
that's
what I mean?
All I got
it wasn't meant to be.
But it is. I do because now I'm trying to post like every day, twice a day.
Sure.
We just with our last podcast, it kind of got like that bug playing about like just post. That's what
Consistency
TikTok
is
likes.
so important.
You got to feed the algorithm.
Yeah.
You know, in order.
And like, I just wonder if
Consistency is
we would've done
everything.
that.
Consistency is
I
everything.
feel like, and let me know if you guys like feel or see anything different. I feel like the people who are very, very, very successful on TikTok usually are it's TikTok that's their main platform.
Yeah.
And then everything else from them, like they have like no followers on or no recognition on. And
Well, that's that conversion rate we were talking about.
Yeah,
It's so hard
so
to convert people over to things.
I feel like TikTok might be like one of those platforms though that it's easier to transfer off of though. For me, I feel like the people who like get popping on TikTok, it's easier for them to have an Instagram following than somebody on YouTube would be.
The benefit that they have is they could post the same video on Reels, and that'll grow their Instagram. They could post the same video on Shorts, and it'll grow their short.
So
that's
it's
the benefit
easy
that they
to
have
repurpose
now.
TikToks.
Before Reels and Shorts, I would agree with you that they weren't converting.
Right.
But now I don't think that I still don't necessarily think they're converting. I think that they're just getting bigger Instagram followers from Instagram because of Reels.
Oh,
Yeah,
Same
true.
thing.
That
Like
makes
there's
sense.
these. I've been finding these. You go to the trending page, you'll see constantly people that have trending Reels, and you'll look at Shorts. And you'll look at their page, and they have 1.6 million subscribers, but it's all just Shorts.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So they're growing their pages based on that style content. Whether it be but they're posting it natively. They're not posting it with that TikTok
little watermark. I know
so
what you mean.
they're just filming it outside of it and posting them all three platforms.
Yeah.
One thing that I also noticed while watching your content is that you like mentioned like Discord. Is that something that you use a lot?
I try to be on everything I possibly can to make it as easy for people to get in touch with me and can build a community. I actually kind of like Discord. It's cool. I don't check Discord it nearly as much as I should, but it's really cool to chat with people, and it's a different it's a group chat feel. So it's really cool. You get like a bunch of people just chatting in it. It's like, this is really cool. I just don't check it as often as I should.
Funny thing about Discord, actually, I've noticed that a lot more people this year have been using Discord than ever. I find that there's Discords for everything. Like, it's no longer like just, it used to be just for gaming. Like, I've been using Discord for so long, just because I play PC games. And now I've seen, like, for example, I was out to dinner with one of my friends a couple weeks ago, and she lives in Virginia now, but she is part of this Discord server that's just Filipinos, for example, just in New York. And she met, like, a couple of people from that Discord, and like they were really cool. I went out to dinner with them too, and it's just interesting. I had no idea about that culture of Discord until it was brought to my attention. Like,
nice.
Right.
I never thought of using it like that.
So how did she find that? Just search it up?
Like, I don't know. I didn't really ask, but it was something I took note of because I was like, wow, that's pretty. It was like Filipinos in New York. Something like that.
That's something like Reddit. I feel like
that's
Reddit
what
would
I
be
was,
there.
or even like Facebook groups. That's what
Facebook
that sounds
groups.
like.
I mean, even Clubhouse too. You be seeing like Clubhouse just blow up in that time frame.
Oh, yeah,
you know what I mean? There's like so many different ways.
Is Clubhouse still relevant? Do people still use it?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I don't know because I see people use it. It might be one of those things where like the boom happened and then it was like then it built this community. It did what it was supposed to do. So the people that's there.
It's funny because I actually went on. Like, I have the app and I opened it yesterday.
Wow. Serious?
Because I would say a few months ago, I think it was during quarantine it was really popping.
Right. Sure. Yeah.
And a lot of it, like, I actually joined, like, it was like some investing thing, because I was like trying to like really try to learn stuff. You know what I'm saying? And they had a lot of people. Like that.
I love investing stuff.
Yeah,
that's all I watch on YouTube.
Word.
Oh, no, that's what
funny.
you should be watching on YouTube. I feel like learning. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, but what I noticed though on Clubhouse at least is like it's different now. Like they have a lot of random rooms. Like I think they always had it maybe, but it's a lot of like those like rooms like you'll hop in and then like you'll rate everybody.
That's the meta now.
Yeah, it's like rate this person, or it's like
crazy.
It's
weird. Just so weird.
But you know what
the
though?
Type of rooms that they have.
Twitter has something like that now.
Twitter
like
Spaces.
That's what it's called.
Twitter Spaces, yeah.
Yeah. Like
Really?
Jay-Z was actually in there like, during that whole
Jay-Z?
he like when Kanye went on what's that podcast called? Drink Champs.
Yeah.
He actually was in one of those Twitter Spaces talking about that movie he produced. What's it called? The Harder They Fall. That cowboy movie that came out on Netflix.
Jay-Z produced that?
Yeah, he's a producer. He's a producer on that, and he was just talking about it. I'm
that
like,
movie.
he on Clubhouse, but it's like, no, this is Twitter. I'm like, oh wow. But we in this weird like age where like somebody will come up with something really inventive, and then you get like a nice company like startup, and then the big dudes are just be like,
yeah,
this is mine now. You know what I mean? Copy paste.
Yeah.
It's kind of I think that's. I understand it from a business aspect, but I think it's kind of like weird that we've just allowed that to just be the thing. Like
culturally accepted that. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
A lot of like platforms are doing what other platforms do.
Yeah.
Literally, I think today or yesterday I saw Instagram updated to like now when you go live, you can send like
money or gifts
like on TikTok or
you
YouTube.
You do like a fundraiser too, stuff like that.
I don't know, but the gifts things, you can send like it literally tells you like, oh, buy this so you could send something to somebody. I'm like, but I was gonna ask you because you said you go live on YouTube. Do you ever go live on anything else? Or Twitch?
Oh, you know what? Twitch is one of those things I'd really love to learn a lot more about. It has a really interesting community, and I'm really like intrigued by it. So that's like on my back burner list of things to check out. Never on Instagram. I am so insecure about my Instagram. It's so funny because I'm so insecure about my Instagram because of who follows it. In the sense of like,
it's more personal.
It's so much more. Not anymore. Like probably now at this point, it's probably like 25% personal and 75% music.
But they're still there though.
But they're still there. So like my wife's friend from work follows me, so like I think about what I post. I will post anything on YouTube, and I'm just talking even things like thank you guys for the 100,000 subscribers. Like I'm so comfortable not like posting that on YouTube, but on Instagram I'm like, what is this person gonna think? What is that friend gonna think? Which I shouldn't, but like. I hate
that's
the
understandable.
fact.
Though.
It's understandable.
I hate the fact that like I loved when I was flying under the radar with YouTube and stuff, and now like people will be like, "Oh, I saw your video." My friends will be like, "I saw your." I'm like, "Oh, I hate that." They're like, "Oh yeah, I was watching." My cousin will be like, "I was watching your video." I'm like, and I'm grateful that they're supporting the channel, but like I hate the fact that now I think about them because I care about their opinions. I care about my friend or my cousin's opinion. And I don't want to have to think about that.
It's like the world's clashing almost,
Exactly. I don't want to have to think if they think it's stupid or not.
Right.
When nobody was watching, I didn't care. They weren't seeing, so I didn't care. But I do care if they think it's stupid, even though I shouldn't. I do.
All things considered, those are good problems to have. I think.
Exactly. I completely agree. You're right. 100%.
Shit,
that's a fact.
I think it's that time. As if you weren't aware, we often give flowers. But even before we give flowers,
facts before that.
If you could give any piece of advice to somebody who's younger than you or just now starting out with YouTube, what piece of advice would you give to them?
That's a great question. And we were chatting about, I was asking you guys about the structure of the podcast beforehand. You mentioned that. It's funny because, like I said, I have a podcast that I do. And I asked pretty much the same question at the end of it. I think it's a great question. First, though, I want to give you guys the opportunity. You got to promote that merch, man.
Oh, man.
You got to
You mean this? You mean this? Where did
that come from?
Where did that come from? It's just been on the table.
Yeah. I didn't want you guys to forget that. I like this a lot, man. This is nice. I like this a lot. The trucker hat.
If he likes it, then you guys have to get it.
Available over
at
wastingmy20s.com.
Go ahead.
Word for the last question.
And you mentioned that you have your merch on too, right?
Here, bro. Yeah, you can get the merch. You can go to Jacob Rest. You can get it on the new app. You can get it on the app.
Hey,
you can get it Restituto.com.
There you go.
Absolutely. I like this hat a lot.
That hat looks good on you.
I appreciate that, bro. So, what was? Can you repeat the question? What advice would I give to a starting creator?
Yeah.
I would say. It's going to take so much longer than you think it will.
And that's the one right there.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. Answer. I think consistency and patience. Hard work, consistency, and patience. Yeah. Like I grinded. People are like, oh, you grew so fast. I'm like, who else do you know posted stinking 12 videos a day? Like, like I stinking worked my butt off.
Right.
I worked my butt off putting forever. And the thing is, people don't see this because they weren't around to see it, and it's fine. but that's why I like documenting my process. Like there were so many videos before that I posted that nobody saw.
Exactly.
So like I just
see,
forever just kept posting and nobody would see these videos. Like I have vlogs on my channel that like got 16 views, but I kept doing it because I kept believing in it that I, you know, and like. So it's just a consistency, and it's going to take way longer than you think. But if you love it, just keep going for it.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
That's solid. That's
solid.
Yeah.
That's it. That's probably the best answer.
Do you still have like your very first video on?
Yeah, absolutely.
You do?
Absolutely.
That's
see,
crazy.
I tell people all the time that want to start a channel too. They're like, "Oh, I love your setup." I'm like, "Bro, like I didn't just start here. Like
Exactly.
I've been doing this for years." And I say, go look at my channel in 6-month progressions. My first video, my 6 months later, 6 months after that, and you'll see things changing, the camera quality changing, the angles changing. You know, so
that's pretty
absolutely,
cool.
absolutely.
For sure.
And it's about that time. Give flowers, you know. There's something that we do on occasion. We give flowers. Well, not on occasion, every episode. We give flowers. Shout out to Drink Champs.
Yeah, shout out to they usually give it to the person.
The person.
Right.
But
So what does that mean, giving flowers?
Pretty much you just give some type of acknowledgement or like a shout out to something that you think is cool or important or whatever's on your mind, you know. It could be a person. It could be a thing. It could be an industry, it could be a business, it could be whatever.
Yeah, really whatever.
All right.
Yeah.
So my boy over here, he's about to start it up.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna give my flowers to stylists out there because I just had a shoot, and then as a photographer, you know, like I like shooting cool stuff, but like a lot of the times I'm too focused on like composition or whatever, where I can't think of like how to style something. So having that extra brain in there, that's so handy, man, and it levels up the quality a lot more. You know what I'm saying? Because you can shoot something that might look nice, but had you had like the extra details, you know, whether it's like a couple of earrings, a necklace, or just like a location, you know. So
tie everything together.
Yeah, it ties everything together. Nice.
Shout out to the stylist.
Yeah. No stylist.
Yeah. So I guess we'll just go down the line.
Yeah, sure. So I like this idea. I think it's really cool. So can I be grateful for gratitude, if that makes sense? So let me explain this. I think that is the most important thing. You know, enjoying the process, being grateful along the way. I think, you know, I'm grateful for the opportunity to do what I love. I'm grateful to meet new people. I'm grateful that it's growing. I'm grateful that it's finally stinking moving. And you know, like I was crazy even in my own mind for so long and be like, okay, finally all the things that I thought were gonna work are finally stinking working. You know, I'm grateful for God, I'm grateful for my family. So I think that's what gratitude keeps me going, because otherwise it would be miserable.
Absolutely.
You got to be grateful for the, you know, the 1 new follower, then the 3 new followers, then the 3 new friends, you know, like, because otherwise you just look at that end goal and it just seems so far away. So you got to appreciate the journey.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The beauty's in the journey.
Amen.
Yeah. So, you know, funny that we're speaking about creators that just feel like they just keep throwing fuel into the fire and nothing is, you know, coming about. I want to give my flowers to those who are still hardworking and just feel like that goal is not anywhere in sight. I promise that, you know, it's gonna get there one day. But like he said, you know, hard work, dedication, patience.
Patience,
you know,
big
patience. I mean,
big on the patience.
2017, I would have never.
Yeah.
You know.
What did Paul Rudd say? Like, who would have thought we'd be here?
Yeah, that's true.
But once it hits, it just feels so good. And you know, funny, you was just speaking about being gracious for gratitude. I'm always like so hyped now, like to just tell people like, yo, we finally hit like 1,000 subscribers. Like I feel good telling people about that. And I've gotten responses like, you know, it's just 1,000, but that 1,000 to me means so much more than that 1,000 does to you.
Sure.
You know, and especially if it's someone who doesn't do what we do or who isn't a creator.
You know what you had to do to get there.
Yeah, it's like they don't understand.
Sure.
They have no idea what it's like, and that 1,000 means you guys, man, all the subscribers, everybody who's listening on the podcast, like we're all just so gracious. It's
very
understated.
Much. Yes,
you
definitely.
know? So thank you, 100%. My flowers to you.
I love that.
So It's funny that you mentioned that. I'm gonna give my flowers to anybody that purchased the merchandise.
Hey, you mean
like,
this?
Yeah, but even like on a serious note, like this helps out a whole lot, you know, and it kind of just serves as some type of like fuel for us because you know. This is a hoodie at the end of the day, but you chose to buy our hoodie. You could have bought anybody's hoodie. You could have bought anybody's hat. You could have bought anybody's shirt, you know. So, yeah, I really want to say thank you to you guys. You guys are, like, really important, you know. Like, if we don't say it enough, I'm going to say it right now, you know. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Flowers to y'all.
I think that can I add to my my advice to creators? Sure. I think the biggest thing is also being grateful for the people that are watching your video, like you just said, like whether it be 13 people or 13,000 people. Yep. Yeah. It's so easy to get caught up in the views of like, oh, it's only 13. Yeah. Or you know, like, oh, it's you get used to 13,000. You don't recognize that that's 13,000 people. Yeah. You know, if you're used to 25,000 views a video, you know, because you guys will get to that place, and whoever's watching, you know, will get to that place. If they keep staying consistent, they will, you know, likely get to that place. It's so important to stay consistent on being like recognizing that you know that those are real people. They're not just numbers.
And they gave their time to you.
Keep in perspective, exactly. The humble perspective.
Yeah. Nice, beautiful.
Yeah. And just like that.
Well, before that, you kind of already plugged up your. Did you where they could find you and everything like that?
Yeah, it's just Jacob Restituto wherever you know. By the time you type in Jacob RES, it should come up. So on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook. I don't use Facebook really. But on Twitter,
it's there.
Platform, you know, Spotify, Apple Music, and everything.
The app.
And the app coming soon.
No, it's out.
It's out.
It's out.
Yeah. You can download it right on your phone right now.
On Friday.
Okay, nice.
Last Friday, yeah.
Last Friday. Okay, nice.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm very excited about that.
Nice.
As you should be.
Hey, it was a pleasure.
Likewise.
Yeah, it really
appreciate you pulling up.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man.
We love the Long Island, you know what I mean? Strong
Island.
Long Island.
Yeah.
Strong Island, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
Just like that then.
This is all that. That's it. That's the podcast. You know? Make sure you guys don't waste time.
Amen to that.
But if you waste it with us, it's okay. You know, we're good guys.
Where did this come from?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
This was good.